as a life coach, it's really easy to fall into the trap of being like, oh, things are all amazing and positive and happy, and work with me and your life will be so amazing. And you see that a lot, a lot of posts, and frankly, a lot of my posts too. I'm trying to keep up sort of a positive attitude, but the challenge of that is it doesn't really allow for the full human experience of like, what about when we're going through really difficult times like death and loss and divorce and grief and financial stress and burnout and exhaustion and these kind of like much darker mental states of anxiety, depression, and things like that. And as I've walked through this, it really has been the most difficult year of my life. I've had a lot of loss, a lot of deaths, a lot of, challenge, frankly, like adjusting to having two kids. I mean, it's hard. It's really, really hard, having a 1-year old and 4-year old and running a business and trying to figure out childcare without going broke. And it's, financial stress. It's been really, really difficult. And I have gone to some pretty dark places. And, one of the things I've learned is there's a lot of people going through that stuff. And as I've been going through it myself, I'm finding there's not a lot of resources. Like it's really hard to find a therapist. It's really hard to find the kinds of resources that help people walk through dark times. Because I think part of our culture is like that we should be happy all the time and life should be easy and life should be comfortable. And, that's very much what our ego wants us to believe. Like it just wants us to feel happy and groovy all the time. And so when we're going through these difficult times of darkness, it can be doubly challenging because we're in this mindset that this shouldn't be. Like we shouldn't be going through this. Like life should only ever be happy. And it's a way that we kind of can easily torture ourselves. So what I've been learning is like a lot of the tools that are necessary when you're going through dark times are difficult and they require a lot of courage. Like for me, it requires a lot of courage to actually ask people for help because my whole life, my whole identity has been built on like, I can do everything myself. I'm awesome. I can just power through with sheer force of will or taking a million actions or the tools that I've learned along the road. And for the first time in my life, I've been in a state where that's not sufficient anymore. When it comes to, learning what it is to be a parent and to be a loving husband and to be a business owner and to be, to have financial integrity and to, learn to also take care of my own needs on top of all this. I'm actually at a place where I was tapped and I asked for a lot of help, working with a therapist, hired a coach, working with all kinds of healers, like doing all kinds of modalities. Like I'm open for business. Like whatever God puts in my life to support me, I'm into it. And I've had to learn how to really surrender, like on a much deeper level, like to have faith. And that's another thing that's been really scary for me is like, oh my gosh, I'm not being sure how things are going to pan out and having the faith to believe that things will work out versus my brain that just wants to go into constant panic all the time about everything. And, learning to take care of the kids while I'm kind of falling apart on the inside because you can't fall apart in front of them because it's very concerning for them. And so learning to just be like, okay, to read stories to my daughter when I'm freaking out about this or that, and how to what else did I want to share? I've been learning, and the biggest thing I've been learning is self-love and grace and compassion. And I find that's the most potent thing is when I'm going through stuff is like learning to love myself, learning to give myself grace, learning to have my own back, learning to give myself compassion, like all these new tools. And frankly, one of the most difficult things is sitting with the feelings in full presence. Instead of like trying to run away or numb out or escape, like to just kind of sit and feel sadness and to feel grief and allow them to actually pass through my body. And to and the other hardest thing for me has been like basically allowing my whole identity to transform from top to bottom. Like, and this is what we go through as human beings. Like, we learn all these strategies to make it in life, and we learn most of them as kids. And so mine was like being independent and being hardworking, but all those things have reached their limit, and that's a scary thing. Like when we reach our limit, then we're basically forced to transform into something new. Oh, got a call coming in, hang on. I just got a text that my daughter is screaming. Well, let me just wrap then. I just want to say, like, because there's not a lot of resources for people, I want the Freedom and Bliss program to be a place where people can come and walk through dark times together. Like, to have love, to have a supportive community, to have tools and resources to, like, walk together and have a safe space where people can come and talk, because a lot of people are dealing with this stuff. And so if you're dealing with burnout, grief, exhaustion, difficult life circumstances, you just feel worn out, like you've lost your spark, I invite you to join this community. Reach out to me, check out the link in the bio. I made it pretty low priced so people can join and it can be accessible, and it's just meant to support people. And I'm done pretending like everything's groovy all the time, because it isn't. And I want to serve people as I go through this. I want to walk through it with others. So I love you, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye.